Alright guys, here it is, the long-awaited Final Fantasy I review. Uh, Not much I can say about this one that I won't be covering in the other one, so I'm not going to spend too much time with this particular game. Just that it is the classic of the 8-bit era. Really fun little RPG, and the only few things I have to say about it are kind of gripes. And that is the combat system is a little broken, not terribly broken, not unusable, but if you have two people in your party attacking the same thing, let's say the first one kills that enemy, the other one will attack it, and it will be pretty much beating a dead horse, and sometimes actually beating a dead horse. Not very fun. The second thing is a couple of the special weapons, the magic weapons, don't work terribly well. The Were Sword and the Dragon Sword are the ones that come to mind. They're supposed to be effective against werewolves and dragons respectively, but neither particularly are. They're just regular, they have the same thing as a Silver Sword. It's not terribly effective, not terribly ineffective, but what it's supposed to do, it doesn't. Kind of a letdown, no big deal, it's whatever. Still a great game, and one that I recommend. It's on the Wii Virtual Console, so pick it up there and enjoy. Alright, the second one we have is the Origins Remastered Edition, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 1. This game, a lot prettier graphics, better battle scene. It fixes the battle mechanic, so if you have two people in your party fighting the same guy, if one of them kills, the other will move on to the next one. It also fixes the weapons, so the Dragon Sword is effective against dragons, the Were Sword is effective against lycanthropes, and the Rune Sword is effective against spellcasters. Not much, but it's an improvement still. The game, the graphics and sounds are really gussied up. They're made to be a 16-bit remake, so it's going to be reminiscent of Final Fantasy 2 and 3 American if you played those. Reminiscent of Final Fantasies 4, 5, and 6 for those who are in the know for Final Fantasy games, your classic Super Nintendo Final Fantasy style games. It also comes with a full bestiary and unlockable art collection from the guy who drew all the monsters and backgrounds and stuff for the game. So that's actually pretty cool. I think this is the only one that has the unlockable art. Kind of a bummer, but what's nice about this is you can actually get it on the PlayStation Store. It comes on the download thing. Totally worth getting. I think it's like $10, and for gussied up and very pretty graphics and really just gorgeous sound, I recommend it. $10, can't beat it. Next up is Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls for the Game Boy Advanced. Now this one I actually kind of like because they did something kind of special with this, and that was they made 4 fresh new dungeons. All of them are unlockable after defeating one of the 4 major fiends, the Lich, the Merilith, the Kraken, and Tiamat. And each of them have their own special and very unique challenges. The water dungeon is going to be the most difficult, and actually when I first went through it, I was like, yay, water dungeon! No, it's not fun. Especially the end where you go up against either A, Omega, or B, Shinryu. And they are just ridiculously hard. Probably the hardest bosses in the game, hands down. And it's not even fair. They take you and bend you over. They are not fun at all. I don't particularly like that aspect of it. I thought that could have been better, because you have to really grind to get up to actually beating those two. But it kind of makes it worth it to complete the bestiary. If you're like me, if you want to be like, yeah, 100%, it makes it feel like a real accomplishment. So there's that. Aside from the extra dungeons, it was kind of lackluster. It doesn't have the unlockable art collection, and what it does have instead is an unlockable jukebox, which it's all the songs and music from the game, like every single melody. And you know what? For beating the game, both games, which you have to do, it's not really worth it. I was kind of disappointed with the extra content, but there's one that did it just a little bit better, and that was the PlayStation version nailed the extra content. This one, 4 dungeons are neat. It's still worth getting. It's still pretty cool. But there's one game that did the 4 dungeons just a little better. And last but not least, the 20th anniversary Final Fantasy I for the PSP. It's also available on your Apple devices like your iPad and your iPhone. Really neat little game. Has all the 4 dungeons from the Game Boy Advance release, much better graphics, much better sound. It also has this thing called the Labyrinth of Time. Labyrinth of Time is quite a challenge. I haven't even been able to finish it, and that's because there is no saving in the labyrinth. It's just that cruel, and it's like, I think the last time I went through it, it was 2 hours until I was like, I can't keep awake for this, I'm gonna crash. I did, and I crashed with my PlayStation Portable on, it died, and there was just no going back. I was like, after that, I'm done. I ain't gonna do it. Fuck it. Besides that, like I said, very pretty graphics. They went all out for this release. And since it is available for most of your Apple devices, most people who watch this video are going to be able to download it. I think it's like $5 or $10, something like that. Still well worth picking up, and I do highly recommend it. Alright guys, that's it for Red Reviews, and I'll see you guys next time.